Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a really long time. I've been off because of a surgery in my ear. I had to move to Canada last week and that got postponed, so I'm moving this Saturday. So I've been trying to get back to track and I was planning on making a long form video, more on that coming up later. I'll give a kind of a preview in the at the end of this video. But I wanted to just share a very interesting update which has come out. Not an update, but a very interesting package, if you may. I wanted to talk about that just to get me started again. And this will be a very short video, hopefully. And here it goes. So I wanted to talk about a very new WYSIWYG editor, a Notion-style WYSIWYG editor. I had actually covered something called editor.js before in a video, which also provides a WYSIWYG editor just like this, a Notion-style WYSIWYG editor. This is a kind of a competitor, I would say, but they basically what they do is they are built on top of Tiptap, which is another well that is the main part of the WYSIWYG editor, and what they have is it's a headless wrapper built around Prose Mirror. If you don't know what Prose Mirror is, Prose Mirror is was one of the primary rich text editors for the web used before, and almost all the WYSIWYG editors used well did use Prose Mirror under the hood, but well, that has been used by the, as they've said, New York Times, The Guardian, Atlassian, etc. Now what they're doing is they have wrapped around Prose Mirror, provided a very good developer experience to work with it, and they have really good real-time editing. They have extensions which you can add just like editor.js. You can add all these extensions. Every little block is an extension to work with, and well, you can try out TipTap by yourself, and I will be covering a little bit of that in this video, because the output is something we'll be covering. But basically, Novel.sh uses Novel.sh uses TipTap under the hood and combines it with the Vercel AI SDK. So if I look at the GitHub, they say they combine it with the Vercel AI SDK and provide you with an AI autocomplete experience really easily. Now, obviously the Vercel AI SDK part, not obviously, but that endpoint has to be written by yourself, and it's not very difficult. I'll be covering that as well. You can write that using Vercel AI SDK or something else, but it provides a very good wrapper around OpenAI and LangChain and stuff like that to provide you a good streaming experience as well. But it helps you with the AI autocomplete experience very easily, and that's what Novel does by using TipTap under the hood. To give you a preview, this is well their site. You can go through this and using Novel. It's just a heading. You can have markdown like that. Novel heading 3, stuff like that. You can go slash for well something like Notion. You can have a code. You can upload an image. You can have a quote. Slash. I can add just plain text, to-do list, etc. But the main part of this is if I go to the end, all right, let's say auto here, let's see something like here's what I do, and then at the slash, let's go continue writing. See that autocomplete that was generated by OpenAI, and they have streamed the response back and then written it over here. You can also do a plus plus and that will do the same thing. And this actually took me like just 5 minutes to build. If I was looking, I was trying to build this just for a preview, and it was actually very, very simple. All I had to do was create a new Next.js app, go PNPM and Novel. Then what I did was have an editor slash page.tsx, went into that, added this editor from Novel, and then over here, just like that, And this actually worked under the hood itself. Let me just show you that by changing API I just for the sake of it for now. This actually worked already if I just refresh this, and they basically have used Tiptap and then configured it with certain extensions to get you up and running in no time. This all works just like the old one. Let's go. You can bold something, underline something, change this into a heading, strike through, change this into code, etc. The only part was the plus plus didn't work because if I look at the inspect panel, all right, let me just zoom in a little bit over here. If I look at the network tab over here, and let me clear whatever is over here. If you try plus plus over here, it actually sends a request to localhost 3000/API/generate with the payload of the whole prompt. Now this is all what is here before this as a text, and it sends it as the prompt, and you can use that in your own API to generate it with the Vercel AI SDK. For that, they've also given an example inside their GitHub. All you need to do is go down over here, click on this. They have this example over here. You can copy and paste this. I've already done this over here, API. Oh, I should have probably zoomed in, but my bad. Hopefully you can see it now. I didn't change much, but if I change this to API and look at API/generate/route, all right. What this is doing is it's taking the I have my OpenAI API key inside my .env, creating an OpenAI client, and this is running on the edge, by the way, because Vercel AI SDK is really good to work with on the edge. Well, again, checking for the OpenAI API key, taking the prompt from the JSON front end, which I showed over here. It's sending the prompt as the request payload. It is taking that, running it through a GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is the chat GPT API. It is running it through that for the OpenAI chat completion. It is giving it a prompt, you're an AI writing assistant, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, they don't support, Novel doesn't support markdown formatting for now from the response coming back, but they are figuring out a way to do that now. But till that time, they haven't done this, else you can uncomment this later. And then just sending the role of the user, which is the prompt, which is, well, the previous prompt. Sending a temperature, all this is OpenAI stuff, and then getting back the OpenAI stream as a response, as the stream, and then sending back the response. And Novel uses this under the hood to give back a really good experience to work with. You don't need to do any of this on your own. This was very, very easy to set up. I just wrote most of this. Now, if you followed a few, well, I haven't covered this in a video, but Vercel AI SDK, for people who don't know, is a very, very, very good wrapper around chatbots in general, and it can provide you a very good experience to work with chat streaming, not prompt engineering, but chat streaming, and the use completion hook it provides. It's very easy to get set up with an AI application with this. You can use this easily. You can use it with stuff like LangChain as well. You can pair it with LangChain and use, say, embeddings. If you've not looked at my video on LangChain with embeddings, do look at that as well. It's a very interesting concept. Once you get into it, you can build stuff very, very quickly. You can use Hugging Face models, you can use Anthropic, Cohere, all these things. OpenAI Replicate has amazing ML models coming up which you can use, and all these things can be used very easily with the Vercel AI SDK. And that is what well, you can use that over here as well when using it with this. This is where we're using the OpenAI stream, and streaming text response from AI is the package which you use to use the Vercel AI SDK. So that is what we're doing over here. And then what we're doing is this is just running it under the hood and working with it. Now, that was for making sure that, well, the editor works, right? Most of the time, like if you're building something like Notion, this is enough. What if you want to store the store what the user has written over here and then send it back as an output later. Well, what they do is this editor, you can use the on update function over here. The on update basically that calls in the editor, yeah, the editor, I guess. And then you can call editor dot. I actually didn't look at this, but they have interesting. Let me just see this. On update is giving the editor and an on debounced update, which is probably better for us. But if I look at Tiptap and the editor, uh, hello, I look at it took a little bit of a pause there. I was looking through this and they do have a editor.getJSON, which you could use with this over here. But basically what is happening is that this editor is running on the server, right? And I can't use this function if it's not on the client. So what Novel is actually doing under the hood is that it is actually storing this in the local storage for you. Whenever I change something over here, yeah, it changes this novel underscore content. You can actually change the key for that. Keep losing the repository. Yeah, so you can change the key for that as well in the storage key. So you can use that inside the preview wherever you're using it. But basically, yeah, editor.getJSON will give you the JSON for it. Oh, my head was getting cut off. Yeah, so it will give this basically, and this is storing it inside this. So if you look at this over here, if you just open a JSON visualizer. Okay, let's look at this. I just wanted a beautified version. Yeah, so it has a type, it has the content, which is basically a nested system of all these things. This is kind of like a, what's that called? An abstract syntax tree, but made just keeping Tiptap in view. Even editor.js does something very similar to this. It has these attributes, etc., and the extensions basically use these blocks and then combine them in their way to give you a sense of what you're seeing on the screen inside the editor, right? So yeah, that's how that works. And for the preview, this took me a little bit of time because I had to get a few things set up to make this working. I actually don't need all these. But for the preview, what I'm doing it is I took a look. Yeah, I took a look at the output screen of TipTap output docs, and there are two ways to do this basically. The rendering. One is you can get the editor instance and then make it a read-only version, but the problem is this won't be very performant because you're having to render the TipTap editor again and again, which I'm guessing is, well, they might have done things under the hood to make it performant, but I don't think it will be that much. The other thing you can do is, if you need to render the content on the server side, for example, to generate the HTML for a blog post, you'll probably want to do that just without an actual editor instance. That is what the generate HTML is for. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the JSON, which is default editor content. This is from the source code of Novel.sh. But what I'm doing is getting that default content. This is just an example of what we'd seen earlier. We're getting that JSON and then we're running it through a use memo to prevent the re-render. And then we're returning a generate HTML version of the JSON and we're passing in default extensions. Now the default extensions was an issue to work with. Here if you look at this, they've used document paragraph text bold, and this is what they're using over here, because they're using document paragraph text and type of bold over here. But because I was using Novel, I had to get in everything which Novel was using. So what I did was I went through the to the GitHub README. They had this over here. Default, the extensions they're using, you can pass them as a prop as well, and more extensions if you want. But they are using a set of default Novel extensions, and they're doing all of this over here, setting few class names with the HTML attributes and all this over here to get this working. I got a bunch of these set up over here inside the default extensions, and I took out a few things here and there which were looking like they weren't needed. Like the slash command wasn't needed, and the upload images plugin weren't needed because they also are something specific to editing something. So I got this working over here. I installed all these plugins over here. Um, Yeah. So, and I got these working over there. I set the default extensions over here, and then I just got the output out, and then they dangerously set the inner HTML to the output. The reason I am not basically storing the HTML inside the database is that it can turn out to be very, very unsafe, because the HTML, well, it will be sanitized mostly, but there's a good chance that there can be an issue with storing HTML, and it's very frowned upon, um, uh, because there are a lot of security issues associated with it. So we're just getting we're storing the JSON inside our database. In the video which I'll be showing, in the long form video, we'll be doing that. But we'll get the JSON, we'll generate the HTML, and then randomly set the inner HTML for the preview, and you will get something like this. Mostly works. This has just those tailwind stuff going on over here. If I basically install let's actually do this. If I install, is that pros or something? Pros, tailwind, typography, right? npm add tailwind, CSS, typography. People who can't see that, you something like that. Yeah. So let's just get that working and then get that over here. That will install in a second or two, I guess. Once that's done, yep. So let me just restart the server once, and let's go back to this and refresh. I wasn't really ready for this video. I just thought I will get something up and running, so that I can get myself up and running. But I found this very interesting. And I wanted to use this package in a video coming up soon. So yeah, I was planning to make this a short video. It's already a 20-minute video, but yeah. It's still not there. It's probably because I need to add the preview. This. Oh my goodness. Let's give this a class name of Rose, is it? I don't even remember. I think Rose works. Refresh. Yep, that works. Yep, yes. Okay, so we've gotten this heading, novel is blah blah blah, and we've gotten these to-dos at the bottom, and the links over here aren't working for some reason. Probably, oh, the links work as well. Just it's not highlighted as it should be, and a bunch of these links over here, and the code block works as well. So that is it. Took me a little bit of effort to get this up and running because I had to go through the source code and install all these extensions which they were using as well, and then go through the source code to find out how they're using Tiptap under the hood and all these things. My spectacles aren't supposed to touch my ear. But yeah, that is it for this video. I just wanted to, yeah, that's it, mainly it for this video. For people who just want to stick around to find out what we'll be building inside a long-term video. I don't want to give out too much, but I was planning on building something like a blog for all, something like a dev.to or a hashnode kind of thing, where you can sign up, you can create your own account, you can create your own posts. We'll probably be using Novel for this. That's why I got up and running with that. And you can, go to your just a teaser of how it would look. I don't have the editor part working right now. I kind of have it working. I just don't have it here. But you can manage your blog posts, you can give tags to them, date publish, you can edit them, and all this is using React table and Shadcn UI. And I'm hoping I can get this up very soon. Just a teaser of what I wanted to bring up in that video. It will be a little long video, but I hope that you all will like it. And so that is it for this video. For more such content, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll hopefully get more regular now. Just get my ear set up all right. I will be a little off next week because I'll be getting used to my first year in college, first week in college. So stay tuned and keep watching. And you can actually follow my Twitter. I will link it down in the description. I will hopefully post some updates on that on the blog post, maybe on the blog, like a full Next.js course maybe, and in the community tab of the YouTube as well. So stay tuned, subscribe, click the bell icon, and please share this video if you liked it as well. We have reached 780 subscribers now, and hopefully I'll hit that 1K subscribers soon. And yeah, that's it about me blabbering about my channel and more. And that's it. Goodbye.